let's start with this. We were just having some fun, and I gave you a little homework assignment. So, worst bet, and the way I was referencing this is, look, everyone's had a bad beat, right? You know, you had an under, and they go to overtime, and your under's dead. Like, that's a bad beat. You know, even I was talking to someone here on staff, and they're like, yeah, a really bad bet was the 49ers against the Eagles. I'm like, I don't know if it was a bad bet. I mean, Brock Purdy's arm gets ripped off. Like, what are you supposed to do? When you bet an 8-point underdog and they are down 40 at halftime, that is a bad bet. So that's what kind of sparked it there, Ryan.
And when you brought this topic up, I was like, oh my, this is hilarious, because just less than 16 hours ago, we made the same mistake.
Well, we made even a bigger mistake going to LMU on the money line.
Oh man,
amped it up.
Bit of a folk hero, Kelly LePepe down there, just looking like an absolute superhero
with his mullet. From Australia.
How do you not root for that guy?
He's the character you build in NBA 2K. He's literally a god brought down here to play college basketball. And how do you get blown out like that? Revenge, I guess, was on the mind of Gonzaga.
In hindsight, it was an obvious revenge angle for Gonzaga. For me, worst bet as far as just complete disaster from the start, it was the 2016 Super Bowl. And I had gotten some information from what I thought was a reliable source. They said, trust me, the Puppy Bowl has been taped. Team Fluff is going to destroy Team Rough. So I went to these numerous, shady websites, opened multiple accounts, got down as much as I could on the Puppy Bowl. I was all in on Team Fluff because it had already happened. It's a foregone conclusion. And then I see Team Rough trots out a three-legged dog that immediately I go, this three-legged dog's not losing. And if there could be a bloodbath in a Puppy Bowl, that's what happened. They got steamrolled. I think it was like 56-3. Again, it seemed like they were making up the scoring as they went, which was even more infuriating. That one was really bad. And I think as far as traditional football bets, we did have, and I forget if Ryan was also on this, but we said Calvin Ridley MVP was a fun long shot at 1,000 to 1.
Days before he's told he can no longer play football.
And I don't think we even got a void off that because so that one was pretty rough too.
That is incredible.
From the beginning.
Jared and I convinced Jared to take Jackson Smith and Jigba to win the Heisman this year. I was like, guys, I did a whole segment on the show. I'm like, look, they're opening up against Notre Dame, high profile game. He's gonna have 6 touchdowns. I'm like, his number's never gonna be higher than now. I think he had like 5 catches the entire season.
The worst thing about that bet is he made me do it on my app, so I had to look at it every single day for the whole season. Yep, that's dead money.
Well, that's the worst thing. I wish the books had like a surrender option.
Yeah.
So when you go to pending bets and you see these futures,
out of sight, out of mind.
Get these. I would have ripped this ticket up.
Yeah.
How could I digitally
that's
rip it up?
The downside to the digital is the upside is you're not going to lose the ticket.
I'll be honest. I personally almost exclusively my futures bet are paper tickets.
That's smart.
I keep them in a cigar box and I just keep them away. And when time comes to go grab them, like, yep, crumple
Confetti.
that up, crumple that up. I don't have to keep staring at it like a bad X or something like that.
That's a great That's my bad bet. I mean, the show is as big as it's ever been, and we were the Houston Texan guys this offseason. The amount of times I've had to have a conversation. We're at a conference this week. Haven't seen these people since before the season, and everyone is reminding me about how the Houston Texans suck. That was a horrible bet. Of course, we parlayed them in the Steelers. $1,000 would have paid $400,000. Turns out neither team won.
Pays out zero.
I was actually prepared to tell you my worst bet ever was the time I lost 4 figures on Madden football. I'll paint the picture. Pandemic hit.
Yep.
We're obviously a sports company. It kind of sucked. So what we did was we decided to start simulating Madden games, computer versus computer. We were the play-by-play. Some of the offshores would put up odds. And my Giants had gone on a nice little run in the tournament we were on. They're playing the Rams. And I literally live bet them into the thousands of dollars. They lost, 44-2?
Yeah,
they lost
they really had a
44-2.
safety.
It was. I mean, honestly, it was one of the saddest moments of my life because I was like, "What was that for?
What am I doing?
What was
You have
that
to
for?
question your
I'm calling
entire
the game.
base
Now I
of
know
reality.
I don't
We had so many questionable things that we did during the pandemic.
Yeah, none of that counts.
Losing thousands of dollars on a Madden game. I mean, there's people who have
I
done
bet
worse.
so much random soccer overseas.
Oh yeah.
Table
Horse
tennis.
racing,
Oh,
table
yeah.
tennis,
Marble stuff.
You get your hands on
I
whatever.
remember
you can
when the
get your
NFL
hands
draft showed up. I sat
man.
on my
Yeah.
couch for 3 days, and I'm like, honey, this is the first sporting event
Yeah.
we got.
Yes.
Yeah, I had like beer just sitting
Goodell
next to
in his
me.
basement
it was
just doing
It was incredible. One I didn't mention from earlier this year. I bet Nebraska, they were catching 14 against Oklahoma right after they had fired. Who was your terrible coach, Britton? Scott Frost.
Frost.
Yes.
I
The
was
head coach firing
yeah.
angle.
And then they go right down the field. They're up 7-0. I think they closed 10.5. I'm like, I got 2 touchdowns. They lost 49-14.
It's just a bloodbath.
49-14.
Some of these are fantastic. I mean, I was on that Titan one too. I remember that handicap. Wasn't Sean on that one too? I think.
I don't know. Yeah, that was pretty awful. So yeah, we don't lose all our bets. I promise.
No,
we don't
no.
lose them all. So Ryan, you were wisely on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
So how did the Super Bowl fare for you, and how Sean is not repping Gang Green right now for some
Had to
odd reason?
retire briefly.
Never look good and green, anyways.
I'll be honest. The Kenny Gainwell first touchdown. Actually,
did you have him?
We were.
That was our play. The Kenny Gainwell.
No.
And so, of
That's
course,
a tough beat. That's a bad beat. That's not a bad beat.
kind of was one of the things that did well for us this season, and to have the Kenny Gainwell touchdown not hit. Of course, we were on the octopus.
That was
Jalen
nice.
Hurts to
Wow.
get
There
the
we
touchdown
go.
and the 2-point 14-1. Honestly, it went pretty well. Hit some of the longer shot prop stuff. Had Hurts anytime. Had Kelsey anytime. Some of the obvious stuff.
Yeah.
And missed on my super long shot stuff like Sky Moore, the first to 20 yards rushing and things like that. But I mean, crushed it because MVP Mahomes to win the MVP at plus 130. We're never going to see that again.
No.
We're never going to see that again. And so, thank you.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.